Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. Yesterday evening I hooked this motor up to the transmission and hooked the headers up, but if you recall on a previous video of the 383, I bought these copper header gaskets. Unfortunately, they're not going to work with these headers. The copper's got a kind of a rectangular port on them, and these headers are round, so they don't seal good. And I'll show you what I mean if you can see it. Like right, well, that's probably not a good example. Where am I at? Right in there you can kind of see the embossing right there. That area there would probably leak. I can actually see past the embossing right there. So I had to go get some new gaskets and went by the local AutoZone, picked up some aluminum reusable header gaskets, or as the British say, aluminium. But anyway, we're going to have to take these headers back loose. And also, I put this bolt in here from the other exhaust. I actually had to modify it because it was too long, and it's not going to work because and I'll show you, the other exhaust manifold sticks out that far before the bolt. You can see there's where that thing's got a sticks out pretty far on these manifolds. It's got all the wiring hooked up except for some wires I cut. I think that orange wire there went to a reverse light switch. It run to the transmission, and that's the only thing I can think of because this is not a computer controlled transmission. So got to hook this pink wire back up right here and get it all hooked back together, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna do all this other. I'm kind of sweated overnight. Sitting here sweating, but I did prime the oil pump back up and timed it before I put the torque converter bolts in. So it's pretty close to being, well, I hand timed it, so it's going to be pretty close to being where it needs to be. I'll probably have to do a little bit of adjustment on the distributor to get it timed right. Yep, it's coming along, and hopefully what I'm going to do is take these headers off, put the new gaskets on, and I'm going to install the starter and the torque converter cover down there. And got the fuel pump on. I got to hook the fuel up to it. But yeah, looking a little better. So stay tuned and we'll get some more video. And by the way, I did use those locking bolts. Man, look how sweaty that thing is. So that's gonna be fun getting all these damn little locks off these bolts. But we'll get her done. Alright guys, here's the copper gasket. Notice it's actually a square port, whereas these are round ports. And so a little bit of difference. And look at the head. The head is kind of a square port head, but the headers are round port headers, so it's got to have a round ported gasket seal. So these gaskets are aluminum, but they're 3 pieces, kind of, well, maybe more than that. They're 4 pieces sandwiched together, so they'll squish squish up when you seat them. Now I'm assuming that the end that's kind of beveled in goes to the outside, because the other side's beveled out. So hopefully they sandwich up in there, and they got kind of spaces on the end where you just leave your 2 end bolts in. And you slide it and slip it down in there. Like this so. And then we'll put the other bolts back in. I lost a couple of them little clips down here under here somewhere. These little E-clips, they pop out and they go flying. They're steel, so my magnet will pick them up, but these locks are aluminum. The magnet won't pick those up, but I only lost one of those and I was able to get it. So it's just time to bolt this thing back up and see what it looks like. Alright guys, got them bolted back on, and notice this bolt and this bolt you can't get a socket on, so I torqued all these others to 30 foot-pounds and just tightened these up the best I could with a wrench. And I'm looking down here and it looks like I might have to do a little frame clearancing right there. It's not touching right now, but it's awfully damn close. You can see the frame is already clearanced for something right before it gets there. So probably just need to cut a little bit more off of it, which won't be that big a deal, I don't think, hopefully. And so we'll put the locks back on here and go to the other side. Alright guys, got this one bolted back up, and this bolt right here, I never could get this clip modified enough to fit on it, so I'm just leaving it off. But plenty of frame clearance on this side, no problem. And so now I'm just going to hook up my spark plug wires, my distributor cap and all that good stuff, and then we'll move on to more stuff.